Renovating a 5-inch gauge sweet pea steam locomotive. Part 12. I repainted the front and rear buffer beams off camera using Phoenix Precision Paints Buffer Beam Red applied with a brush. I wanted the engine to look like it would if it was a full-size engine, not perfect. After 2 coats of paint on the buffer beams, it looks good to me. I also fitted the buffers off camera as all you could see were my hands. They are now in the correct position and the springs within the stocks work fine. I show the fitting of the front panel and bolt it in place. The rear roof support came back from the powder coaters and is now also fitted. When I bought this engine, the buffers were more or less solid. Originally, the buffers were pulled too far back against the springs in the stocks and there was no movement. I've put them in place temporarily. Here I'm removing them to give the buffer beams another coat of paint. And once again, here's a shot of the nice shiny buffers. And here are the front buffers after I refitted them in the correct place. There's plenty of movement and they do actually function now as buffers. The answer was simple. I didn't screw the bolts all the way into the buffer heads. I used some Loctite retainer to stop them from working loose. I'm now about to fit the newly painted front panel. As you can imagine, as this engine is from 1987, the original paintwork was in a bit of a mess, but now it looks a whole lot better, as does the new paint at the front of the smokebox saddle. I decided not to use the original bolts. I just don't like the look of them, and they are not BA size bolts. I think they must be metric. BA does of course stand for British Association and is a very old thread form. Personally, I thought that these bolts did look a bit clumsy and a bit too big. I used some 6BA bolts with the corresponding 6BA nuts. Using a pair of side cutters, I snipped off the end of these bolts and then used the belt sander to smooth them out. Now they're just about the right length, and here I'm fitting the first of the 6BA nuts. The easiest way I could think to do this was to use 2 sockets, one underneath on the nut that I rotated, and the other socket on the head of the bolt which I didn't rotate so as not to mark the paint. I used my favourite etch primer on this plate, and I used HMG C71 Satin Black for the top finish. After painting, I left the part on the central heating radiator for a while to really bake it on. Without turning the engine around, it was very difficult to use the 2 sockets like I've shown previously, so I used a nut spinner underneath. It was easy to get it in position. And even though I rotated the bolts, it didn't seem to mark the paint, which is a good sign that shows the paint is very hard. To fit the 2 bolts in front of the smokebox saddle, I just used a spanner like this with a socket from underneath, first on one and then on the other. Aesthetically, I think these bolts are better than the ones that were originally fitted. They're only 6BA, which is not very big, but they're not highly stressed components. And now it's time to contain your excitement because it's top tip time. I need to paint the bolt heads. I can't leave them in bare metal. So I sprayed some HMG Paint C71 Satin Black into the aerosol can cap, and I'm putting a generous amount on top of each of the bolts. This top tip time is very simple and based on my experience. I apply a generous amount of paint to the top of each of the bolt heads, and then I dip the brush into the paint on top of the bolt heads, not back into the aerosol can cap. That way I don't get too much paint, and it spreads it out from the top of the bolt, down the sides and around the edge. If I re-dip the paintbrush into the small pot of paint, then I apply too much paint to the part. As you can see, there's plenty going on here. I'll illustrate this point once again on the other bolts. First of all, I apply a blob of paint on top of the heads, and then I work that around the edge. I do not re-dip the paintbrush into the pot of paint until the time comes to do the last one. How do I know this? It's not witchcraft and it's not a black art. It's just that I've been doing things like this for many, many years. Now in 2026 I am 73 years old and I really have been doing this for a long, long time. Starting off on plastic kits, moving on to model aircraft and then steam locomotives and engines. But after all this time I cannot paint as well as this. What you're looking at here is the frame that supports the cab roof, and here it is in position. Just down the road from where I live is a place called Powder and Paint, and I get various things powder coated there. They really are top class. Thankfully, they masked off the 2BA threads, so it was very easy to refit the brass nuts, but this time with a washer. It's fairly obvious what I'm doing at the moment. I'm fitting a 2BA brass nut to the thread using a socket. First at one side and then the other in exactly the same way. In this highly magnified view, the paint on the buffer beam doesn't look very good, but it looks fine from a reasonable distance. I don't want this locomotive to look like a preserved locomotive. I want it to look like one that's been in regular use and frequently repainted in certain places. In this clip, I'm using the point of my scriber to centralise the holes in the roof relative to the frame that supports the roof. And here I'm using the original nuts and bolts to hold the frame in place. Because the roof has been unsupported for a while, the scriber was essential to make sure everything lined up. This is fairly self-explanatory. I moved the scriber to the next hole, inserted the bolt, fitted and tightened the nut, and then moved on to the next one, so on and so forth. This clip shows me fitting the last nut and bolt, and I removed the scriber first. I need to touch in these bolts just like I did on the front plate. The paint on the cab roof is damaged in places, which is not a big problem, because it all adds to the patina, and this is definitely not a new engine. As well as painting the bolt heads and the nuts, I'm also touching in the paint on the sides. First of all, I rub the side down with a piece of wet dry sandpaper and then just apply some paint. Really, I should use etch primer for this, but I don't think it's necessary. This is just going to get scratched again anyway. The technique that I use for painting the bolt heads is exactly the same as I've just shown on the front panel. You need to drop just the right amount of paint onto the top of the bolt head, and then just manipulate the blob of paint so it runs down the side of the bolt head, and then it will also run round the edge where it meets the roof. I can't quite do the same thing underneath with the nuts because it's upside down and gravity's not on my side. Instead, I'm just using this very fine paintbrush with a generous amount of paint on it. The only problem is the brush is wobbling about a bit. I do notice that the older I get, the less steady my hands are, but I work around this. Here I'm being sensible. I'm bringing in the other hand to stabilise the brush. This shakiness is not a disease that I've got as far as I'm aware. It's because originally I was holding the handle of the brush right at the bottom to keep my hand out of the shot, but in the end I relented and the second hand came in as a stabiliser. I went around the edge, touching in paint generally where it was marked. I'm sure you will agree the engine is really starting to look good. It's a far cry from what it was when I bought it. And just to remind you what it was like when I bought it, here's a photograph. Once again, don't forget this engine was built in 1987. Here's another photograph of it, a bit closer. It was not exactly in good condition. I decided to do the cosmetic part of the renovation first. The next one is the mechanical renovation, but not in this episode. That's it for this one. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.